Hello, friends. Now, this question, how old do you have to be for it to be sin? Well, we will start out with what the scripture says about sin. What is sin? Sin is a willful transgression of God's laws or commandments. An example of that is you tell a child, don't look under the bowl on the kitchen table. They went in and out of the kitchen 80 times, didn't do it. But there's something weird about this, that when you tell the person not to do it, something triggers within them and then they go and do it. You can call it curiosity or whatever else opinion that you might want to use to reason that scenario. However, it still does not change the fact that we have this innate desire to disobey that originates from the garden. Now, there are many stories of young people in the news and on the internet that are breaking man's laws and being punished accordingly, just like any other person. They may get a shorter sentence or a slight less lenient, but put it this way, why do they have juvenile jails or facilities if they are considered children? Why do you punish them the same and equal to an adult? That is a very good question and a greater example when we refer to how God views sin. Now, when a child lies, if you encourage that lie or do not reprimand or punish in some way that it is wrong to do so, then you're doing great harm to that person. Because then when they get older and then they get arrested for lying, and which usually develops or blossom into stealing, dishonesty in many business ventures, that's what it leads to. There's no such thing as a white lie to God. That's just a justification of an individual to justify their sinful behavior. You see? So, going to the Bible now, is there an age in which God will say, okay, it's okay, you can do that. I won't count that until you reach a certain age. If you find it, please post it, because I've read a few Bibles and it's not in there. That's just a notion that men created to justify actions or the lack thereof. The Bible actually says, the soul that sins shall die. So how much do you love your children? How much do you love your friends? Just because a person is at a particular age, if they do wrong, they must be taught the truth and the consequences, or else they're going to grow up. And let me pause for a second here. Look at a video or pictures of a nursery with many babies in there. All you see is, oh, so adorable. The same way you look at the little puppies and, oh, so cute. Until people put down the dogs for biting and marring a child. Now they're no longer cute. You see? Now, usually it's due to the upbringing of a dog to become vicious. Sometimes they'll snap. We're not talking about the exceptions here. And the exceptions in the human realm here is that, wow, I never thought that person would do something like that. It's the same thing as snapping. Okay? So, God gives us a guideline, train them while they are young, and when they grow old, they will not depart from it. You see, here's the one thing that the world is trying to put down Christianity or destroy it. But it's the same preaching from day one to now, and it still survives. Jesus is still number one because your birthday and the current calendar reflects his existence. Number two is Christmas. And number three is his resurrection, Easter. Appropriate time with this message. Didn't plan to say that. But you see, there's no such thing as age bracket in the Bible. You're born as a baby, then you mature into an adult. There's only 2 stages of development. Now, you cannot blame a baby for pooping on itself. Barfing. That's what babies do. But around age 7, the mind develops. I believe I've read this or heard this somewhere, that scientists says that a child by the time a child is 3, they pretty much have their personality. I mean, look into the world. Look at what's going on. I don't have to verify that. You, or some of you, nodding your head. Yes. This is what, look at this. Watch some of these videos of the Olympics, of kids watching the Olympics. They see them doing flips and tumbles, and then you see the infants, these are children, in diapers trying to mimic what they see. There's videos of young kids sitting next to their dad watching sports, and the dad makes a reaction, they make a reaction. So just to give you a very small example of, we learn first by vision. My ex-girlfriend blocked a channel from her 6-year-old son so that he wouldn't have access to it. She said, I don't know how he did it, but he unblocked and was watching it. I've heard him laughing, and at 6 years old, because I overheard the show that was going on, and they were all teenagers, around 12, 13, 14, that kind of age group, making comments and jokes that he understood at 6. So there is people's assumptions of what things should be, and then there's reality of what things are. A very big mistake people do when in the past is, oh, don't worry, they're too young, they don't understand. And they do certain things, especially intimate things, in front of them, and think that they don't understand what's going on. Oh, they're young, they don't know. So their eyes, if they can see, their ears, if they can hear, what do you think that's doing? They are more intelligent, and the brain is greater than any supercomputer we have today. That's why you have 4-year-olds knowing how to swipe and click and do all kinds of things on these electronic devices, when grandparents have no clue of how to operate that stuff. They're learning faster because you're teaching them and exposing them to knowledge sooner, which is not wrong, is not bad. They need guidance. You see, I've had parents say to me, oh, I let my child make the decision what they want to participate in, and so on, and whatever they want to do. Really? No guideline. Too young to make decisions because of the lack of understanding, and yet they allow them that freedom without the proper training and development, so when they actually become independent to enter the world without any structure. Why do you think people look at the statistics in the depression, loneliness, anxiety for what? In this country, with all its sinful pleasures and desires and corrupted way of living, is still in a better position than most of the rest of the world. We have an abundance of stuff. Others are barely making it. The poor people in this country are wealthier than many other countries in the world. Okay, so this is about sin. Yes, there is no such thing as God is going to pardon you because, oh, you didn't reach a certain age. correct when a child lies. Remember this funny Linda Listen? Mom did the right thing. She was going to give him some pow pow. It is funny, but it is dangerous to not discipline the children. Remember what God said in the Bible about the rod? We use a common analogy of that in the world as spare the rod, spoil the child. I don't think that's what it actually says in the Bible, but it says they will kind of saying that they won't die if you use the rod. In other words, beat them, discipline them. A lot of the grandparents today was raised with the spanking and the go pick a whip from the tree. And you made sure if you didn't do it, they would go and get one. So you made sure you got one that was decent, could do the job, but still keep you alive. Because if they did it, you were going to get it harder, which is very good. And that should still be done. Or else you would not need, listen to this, metal detectors in middle school, high schools. What for if these are so-called children? Why do you fear them? Why are they to be feared? Why are they doing the devil's work? It is simple. You kicked God out of the schools and there was a vacancy, and guess who entered? And the price is the lost lives of loved ones. I'm Pastor Rich, Walking Ministries Online, and I will see you soon.